Hi, I'm Corey Gerard, and I'm coming back at you from Monster Wars Battles. And I have an epic battle for you all, which will showcase Amenia, the Vampire Queen, taking on Xena, the Warrior Princess. So, the scene begins where the purest black sky is now seen. Then the view shows a campfire from a down slow motioning perspective. It now appears that a woman is near that campfire. We soon see Xena right by those flames as a means to keep warm. Then the partial moon is shown, which provides some lighting for this pitch dark occasion. Now so suddenly a mysterious figure is then seen hovering high in the air. It appears to have the shape of a woman, but it's hard to make out her face. Now this floating mystery is shown descending right above Xena. A close-up now shows the face of a fanged black lady with a red emission in her eyes. Yes, it appears as though this lady is a vampire, as seen dressed in a black leather suit with an attached black cape. Now this dark beauty is shown reaching the ground right behind the warrior princess. Then Xena is seen smiling and replies, "I've been expecting you, Amenia." Then suddenly Xena rises and turns to face the queen of all vampires, who then strikes Xena to the ground by shooting her with rage lightning. This energy looks like reddish white lightning and came from Amenia's eyes. We then see Amenia's expression, which now appears to be pleased as she nears a floored Xena on this dark night. Then Amenia is shown saying, "Xena, I do not care that you anticipate your doom." Now we see Xena make an angry frown and then responds, "Well, Amenia, you should care about yours." Then Xena so suddenly grabs her chakram boomerang and then throws it up in the air as seen doing so. Amenia then looks up with a bit of curiosity and watches that weapon split into two moving pieces. The chakram pieces are now shown striking surrounding traps set by Xena herself. Then Xena and Amenia are both shown watching the activated Xena traps. First, a chakram weapon knocks oil into the flames, which causes the campfire to grow tall and wider, as another chakram piece cuts into a rope that releases an encircling construct around the huge campfire, Amenia, and Xena. Then the chakram boomerang is shown reattaching into one piece again, and then Xena is seen quickly rising to her feet and catches her flying weapon as surrounding mirror foils appear around both combatants. Now it seems that Xena has created an artificial sun, which is now seen reflecting the campfire light onto the vampire queen. An angry-looking Amenia now appears to be enduring much discomfort as the artificial sun is seen hitting her directly. Then Amenia is shown replying, "Xena, I will make you pay with your suffering." Now the sunlight seems to be burning the vampire queen as Xena looks on with an amazed expression. Then all of a sudden, a weakened Amenia is seen piercing her right palm with a sharp left hand nail. As she replies, "Versa time by my command." Now the scene is shown quickly moving inside of Amenia, and then we see her red blood undergo a motioning change. So the vampire queen is now preparing to time travel by attuning her 1,000-year-old blood to any stage set of the past. Then the scene fastly moves back to the outer campfire where Xena and Amenia are also seen. Now the motioning is shown hurrying backward until it stops at Amenia standing over a floored warrior princess before Xena set off that sun trap. Now Xena is shown grabbing her chakram again and then throws it up in the air, but a fang-smirking vampire queen quickly conjures her own diamond-shaped chakram boomerang by encircling a gestured hand, which brings this weapon into being. We then see Xena's chakram splitting apart once again, but Amenia's whole piece boomerang is then seen hitting the half-piece Xena boomerang that was sent to cut the rope, as the other half of Xena's throwing weapon is shown igniting the campfire flames to a bigger blaze. Now Queen Amenia is seen catching her diamond-shaped throwing weapon, which has a centerpiece divide. Next, Xena's flying blades are shown reconnecting into a hole, and then she catches with her right hand. We then see Amenia say, "Xena, I only allow the building of this flame because I prefer illumination here." Now Xena is seen replying, "Good," and then throws her flying chakram at the rope again. But Amenia throws hers and knocks Xena's weapon to the ground. Then Amenia's eyes begin to glow reddish as she prepares to fire rage lightning again at Xena, as seen doing so. But Xena quickly charges Amenia and disrupts her eye magic by putting both of her thumbs over Amenia's eyes. Now the vampire queen looks to be enraged as she is shown growling loud with both fangs showing. Then Amenia grabs Xena and then suddenly jumps into the tall fire with her. Now both combatants are shown struggling in the center of that blaze. Xena is then seen removing her thumbs from Amenia's eyes and then says, "You disturb the natural flow of time," which, as both still struggle in the midst of the fire. We then see Xena and Amenia leave the flames as Xena rushes them out in a hurry. Now Amenia and Xena are shown hitting the ground just outside of the campfire. Xena then rolls over and grabs her throwing chakram. Both warriors are next shown getting to their feet at about the same time. Then Xena is shown pulling her sword and then quickly charges Amenia in a swinging motion, but Amenia manages to avoid Xena's lethal sword strikes. Now the vampire queen is seen conjuring a black steel sword to her hand, and then both of their swords begin to show sparks as they repeatedly clash. Now Xena is shown knocking Amenia's sword from her hand, and then we see the vampire's sword stick in the ground. Xena, the warrior princess, is then shown striking at an unarmed vampire queen, but Amenia avoids that blow by transforming herself into mist, and then the very mist is seen completely disappearing. Now Xena appears shocked as she searches around the flame for Amenia. Then seemingly out of nowhere, the queen vampire appears behind Xena and bear hugs the warrior princess. Amenia is then seen biting down on Xena's neck so that Xena's transformation process can begin. Now Amenia appears to be very hungry for Xena's blood because she clamps her vampire teeth even deeper into Xena's neck. Next, Xena is shown struggling a bit and then releases full control to Amenia because her vampire bites are so intoxicating. Amenia now appears tempted enough to drain Xena dry but she stops because her vampire thirst is quenched. We then see the vampire queen turn Xena around to face her, and Xena's fresh blood is shown around Amenia's lips. So Xena, feeling a bit ashamed, proceeds to wipe the blood off of the queen's mouth with her left hand. Now Amenia is shown smiling at Xena and says, "Come with me, Xena. I have much to show you." Then suddenly the vampire queen transforms herself into mist and is shown teleporting herself away with the warrior princess. The scene is now shown motioning up into the night, and when it comes back down, a mountain fortress is seen at the crack of dawn. Then the motioning quickly moves inside of this mammoth-sized house until we arrive in a throne room where Amenia is seen dressed in her royal clothing as she sits on a black and gold throne. She is wearing a red silk gown, a red tiara crown, and red gold jewelry as her hair flows down. Now this scene moves about 9 feet away from Amenia, where an oiled up naked Xena is shown laying on an altar. She now appears to be getting bit by a bunch of midget vampire imps with horns. Yes, they are biting Xena all over her body. And then the warrior princess is seen saying, "They're eating me alive," but the pain is so exquisitely comforting. Yes, Xena appears to be in a tormented bliss because she begins to smile and then her vampire fangs appear. The end. Thanks for tuning in to this battle.